What was New Year's Eve of year 1999 really like? And were people actually excited for 2000? I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous about a computer crisis. Many computers had not been programmed for years that started with 20. But apparently they fixed that before New Year's 2000. There were also a lot of nerds noting that the millennium really wouldn't start until 2001. But they were universally ignored by celebrants. There were more fireworks than normal, as I recall, in countries all over the world. Oh, and Prince's single 1999 got played to death in 1999. So tonight, I'm gonna party like it's 1999. I was one of those people responsible for fixing that for an international financial institution. Most of the IT staff was in the office straight through from the 31st through the 1st, and customer service personnel had to show up first thing in the morning on the 1st to test all of the systems. We watched the news and all of our systems, all night long as midnight crossed the various time zones, hoping that nothing blew up. Fortunately, everyone's hard work paid off so much so that most of the world thought the whole thing was a non-event, and all of the concerns were massively overblown. I'm here to tell you that there were billions of dollars spent across virtually every shop that relied on computers to ensure that Y2K was a non-event. 100%. So many annoying people said it was all hype before 2000. Then when it all went smoothly, thought they had been vindicated and had to tell everyone that they had been right. I sometimes think they should have left it all to go to crap just to prove a point. Thank you. My late husband was I don't know the correct terms for what he did. He was the computer geek, not me, for our county government. He put in many, many hours to make sure that Y2K would be a non-event. You IT folks are kind of like God that way. When you do everything right, nobody notices that you've done anything at all. Hence the saying, everything is working. What are we paying you for? Nothing is working. What are we paying you for? I remember my company at the time had just updated the computer payroll system in early 1999 and then got told that we had to have another super expensive upgrade for Y2K. I was furious and asked why that wasn't included in our last update. So yeah, I was one of the ones that just eye-rolled at the whole thing. Wasn't till years later I found out how much work went into making it a non-event. Thank you for your service, unsung hero. Yes, the public was like, nothing happened. Well, yeah, because fixing it was a booming IT industry unto itself. Whenever I hear anyone talk about the hype, I always describe it as the most successful public infrastructure project of all time. That usually catches them by surprise and gives me a chance to explain that nothing going wrong was success and the desired outcome. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm an IT guy, so I know there's no way in hell every single computer on the planet got Y2K proofed. There had to be some significant percentage, 10, 20, 50%, that didn't get patched. Surely there should have been some fallout over that. Some things breaking down, if not everything. But I didn't hear any horror stories about that one company that didn't finish patching stuff, losing all their data, websites down for days or weeks. Anything. What were the repercussions to the people who didn't take it seriously? I know they existed. The lack of anything happening anywhere did kind of make me wonder at the time if it was all a bunch of hype. P.S. I partied on the full moon party island in Thailand that night. I was mildly concerned the world might go off the rails that night, but not shocked it didn't. If I was that concerned, I wouldn't have traveled to a third world country for the event. The company I worked for installed their own enormous power generator, so no matter what happened, the head office could keep running. I think it cost more than $1 million back in 1999. As it happened, we did not need it, so they just sold it again. Me too. Most boring New Year's Eve ever spent sitting in the office watching monitors. What I do remember about the year before when hunting for potential Y2K code and database issues is discovering some of the stupidest date functions in the code base that we also fixed, like one function that treated every month as 30 days long, another that assumed it was 31 days for odd months only, and yet another that got all months correct except February, where it left out leap years entirely. I was at a New Year's Eve party and one of my friends snuck out and turned off the breaker box at midnight. Good times. I did the exact same thing at a party that was at my house. It was funny as hell. We just all started chanting Y2K, and kept drinking and dancing. Laugh out loud. I was a computer consultant and I remember people jumping into the business, never heard of them before or since, to peddle software that would update and certify computers for Y2K. They made a lot of money. I made $85. That was our hourly at the time, and one client needed us to check their computers because their insurance company required it. I often wonder how many people know that song came out in the early 1980s. We used to sing it for 16 years or so before the actual year came along. Most Gen Z probably think it came out in 1999. Brilliant, really, to write a song in 1982, investing in a resurgence 17 years later. Meet the R36 Max, a pocketable retro handheld video game console, preloaded with classic platformers, puzzles, RPGs, and arcade racers, ready to play out of the box. Its upgraded processor runs 2D and 3D classics with zero lag, while a 4.0-inch IPS HD screen delivers vivid, true to original colors and wide viewing angles. Built on a stable Linux system with 64 gigabytes of built-in storage, it offers secure, uninterrupted play and fast load times. Lightweight with clear speakers, a 3.5mm jack, and a battery for up to 6 hours of play, this brings modern performance to nostalgic gaming. Find the link in the video drop box below. Since you are enjoying these stories, please support Mother Moose on Ko-fi. See the link in the video drop box below. I think often about how well Prince's 1999 has aged in a post-2000 world. I would still like to party like it's 1999 Prince. At the time, I was attending a family friend's New Year's Eve party every year, and 2000 was the only one we dressed up for. I wouldn't say people were actively nervous about it by that time, but there were a lot of jokes about whether the power would go off or whatever after our countdown. I prefer to party like it's 1699. Came here to say that Y2K was a big flipping deal. First and only time in my life my not normally paranoid mother insisted that I stay with her that night. She stocked up on batteries and bottled water just in case. My mom worked at a large financial company and spent a couple of years before 2000 working on Y2K fixes. They were offering big bonuses to stay on and work on it since it was such a slog. Her bonus in 1999 was equal to her salary. Santa went a little overboard that year at our house. My father had a lot of contract work in 1999, fixing millennium bugs. Some people were, others not so much. I knew a guy who was down on his luck, got stuck delivering a pizza that night and never came back from the delivery. We still don't know what happened to him to this day. Perhaps one day long in the future, say 1,000 years, we will find out. My husband and I were supposed to go out with friends that New Year's Eve. We had tickets for a big event with 3 other couples. One of the women had put a pool table up for sale just before Christmas and had someone coming to see it on the 23rd, the day she disappeared. By New Year's Eve, she still hadn't turned up. Clearly, we didn't attend the event. Her body was found a few days later. That's horrific. I'm so sorry. Thanks. It was pretty terrible. The authorities did catch the guy, but not before he deleted 3 more people in 2 other states. If I recall correctly, he was tried in all 3 states, but was eventually extradited back to Oklahoma. My God, is he still incarcerated? No, he was terminated in 2013. My now ex at the time was a doomsday prepper. He had all the bathtubs filled with water, stocked up on drums of gasoline, and bought MREs and coffee for bartering. I knew nothing was going to happen to the world. I should have left him that night. I did eventually. Curious, how did that play out? Like the next day, was he all I know it's still coming? No, we're not draining the bathtub. Or was it more at 12:01 he gave up like whelp? He was mad. I just left. He eventually used up all the gas for himself, ate the MREs for dinner, and threw away the coffee because neither of us drink coffee. The night was so funny and maddening at the same time. I couldn't convince him that everything was going to be okay. Of course, he drained the tubs. I believe we were all told to turn off our computers, so that's all I did. Looking back, that was a hysterical time. I was in Montreal on New Year's Eve Y2K. There were some folks legit scared about planes falling out of the sky, but my friends and I, being 20, decided if the world was ending, We may as well be balls deep and drunk with Montreal and Jersey girls. Understandable. We actually were. At that time, just generally there was a feeling of hope and excitement for the future. People were planning epic parties, clubs, restaurants, venues were selling out New Year's Eve shows left and right. You could attend the party of the century in any city, state, or town. People were really excited to begin a new age and were looking forward to the future and just really wanted to celebrate. That lasted about a year, 19 months, maybe. Then September 11 happened and everything just went to crap. But for a while there, especially on the eve of the new millennium, there was a lot to be excited about. My uncles got in a drunken fistfight on the front lawn, and the younger one drove away, awkwardly leaving his new girlfriend behind with the family. I tried to make fireworks with pill bottles, butane and hemp twine to impress my cousins, but the fuse wouldn't light and nothing happened except a little fire. I kissed my girlfriend at midnight while peeking to see if Y2K would make all the lights turn off or something, and my little brother burnt his fingers picking up a sparkler. The whole Y2K thing was supposed to happen. I'm still paying off all the credit cards I took out. How much do you owe? My husband of 10 years, now ex, left that month. We had planned a trip to Belize for New Year's. I decided to go alone since everything was planned. I met some nice women who I hung out with, did some side trips, snorkeling, a trip to sea monkeys, kayaked with manatees, and a trip to the Jaguar Preserve. New Year's Eve, I sat on the beach watching fireworks from the boats docked there and walked back to the guest house free of my husband. For me, I watched the whole hoopla about Y2K computer and end of the world and some stuff about Mayan calendar and made jokes about it all. I was working the 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift at the time, but had that shift off because of the holiday, January 1st. So I just slept in that night. I did get woken up by my big city's celebration of fireworks and firearm shots. I opened my eyes, wondered if the whole panic came true and Armageddon was upon us, then figured I could find about it tomorrow and went back to sleep. Thing is, Y2K came and went and the world didn't end. But the Mayan long count 13th BAK-ton ended December 21st, 2012. And so did the world. And we've been living in this crappy, endless episode of Black Mirror ever since.